Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to the Teach Better Today morning show where the Teach Better team gets to join you live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have an amazing show ahead and it is our second to last show. Oh my gosh, before we go on a hiatus for winter break. Don't worry though, we'll be back at New Year's and we are very excited to kick off another show January 2nd. But stick with us this week. We have good things in store. Ross is here with us for our show. I know so many of you already follow him and consume all the great things that he puts out to support educators. And then tomorrow's show, I believe, is with Jeff Gargis. We're going out with a bang right before winter break. So we'll be right back before we dive in with our incredible guest, who may be a new face to some of you, but don't worry, he is stamp of approval by me and Joshua Stamper and all the other good people in our network. So we'll be right back. Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to the Teach Better Today morning show. We have Ross with us. Ross, how are you doing?
I am great. Seriously. Thank you for having me on this morning. This is
You're
great.
perfect for this morning.
And I appreciate the intro as well. You said some nice things there. It's like, wow,
I mean,
thanks.
hey, I mean it. Plus, I didn't say this before, but I'm going to say it now for those of you watching on like Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or LinkedIn. If you're just listening on the podcast, I'll describe it to you. Ross has the coolest background. He's got like painted mountains behind him. Like that's the view I want. I just want you to know.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm in Indiana, and there are no mountains in Indiana. You probably know. I mean, you're Chicago,
Yes.
right? But
Yes.
I love the mountains. I love to travel to the mountains. So when I was creating my home office, I thought, you know what? If I'm going to be here so many hours a week, I want to embrace myself in things that I love. So I've got, some
Awesome.
Ted Lasso, I've got a lot of inspirational quotes, and I've got the mountains behind me.
This is my kind of office. I love it. Where are you in Indiana?
I am in Muncie, just outside of
No,
Muncie.
you're not.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right near Ball State.
Two-time Ball State grad right here. So
No, I
yeah.
love the Ball State campus and your cool bell tower. And I've been there like 300 times. I love that university.
That's awesome. I did not know that. Such a small world, but yeah,
Yeah, go
we
figure.
love Ball State, and now that have kids and can take them back. We live so close and can take them back on campus and check out sporting events and stuff like that. It's really fun to do, and so yeah.
Oh, that's so fun.
Ball
I want to
State,
give a little shout out to Ball State. They like redid their buildings. Okay, wait, when I was in college. So whenever that was, they redid all their like arts buildings. And I was friends with a lot of people that went to Ball State that were in like graphics or animation or like art. And those buildings, first of all, I like lived in them when my friends were going there and I was visiting, but they're so pretty. Like if anyone wants to go take a tour of Ball State, they should call you and go into all the beautiful buildings.
I'd be happy to. So our oldest daughter, Frances, she's 8 and is super into art. And their art program, actually art ed program, hosts this awesome art club throughout the fall. So every Saturday in the fall, the kids go and they get their practicum hours, obviously that way. But it's such a cool experience for the kids because they get to go on campus and be, in the awesome art workshops and get to be around just the campus culture, which is fun. So
No
yeah.
kidding. Gosh.
All
Okay.
right.
So I'm going to nerd out for a second, but we all have, and if some of you listening don't have this, this will be a good winter break goal for you, but we all have a place in the world when we need to go into like deep meditation that we envision, right? Some people go to the beach. One of the places I like to go is like sitting in a piazza in Florence, right? Like trying to envision you're being there. I will tell you, nerding out right now, one of the other places I go all the time is there is a huge art studio in Ball State that has like really, really, really high ceilings. And I have totally like been there while meditating, trying to like get the creativity. It's like a cold room with all these art splatters everywhere. I literally could paint it for you. I remember it so well.
That is so cool. Well, next time you're down this way, you can come back. We'll tour the art
Make it
museum.
happen.
Yeah,
I
very
love
cool.
it. Well, now that we've gotten this far and distracted in our conversation, Ross, will you
Sorry.
please? No, it's totally my fault. I did not realize you were in Muncie. We should have talked about this before we recorded the podcast. I could have geeked out and not had people witness it. But Ross, tell us a little bit about like what you do for education. I know you're incredibly connected. You've done so many different roles. Now you support educators. Who are you? Tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I love to. I hate talking about myself, but I'll do this for you, for our listeners. But
Thank you.
I'm an educator. I will say that through and through. Like I don't care what my role is. I'm an educator and I'm a positivity promoter. Like that. Those are my two things. But I started out as an elementary teacher, teaching second grade, and graduated up to fifth and sixth grade social studies, and then doors opened and leadership became a calling that I had no idea was a calling, right? And then as I took on more leadership roles within school, like student council and coaching and these things, people said, "Hey, you're good at this, and you need to do this." And all the way to the assistant principal job is opening tomorrow, and your application better be there, right? And so one thing led to another, and I became an elementary principal and stayed in that role for 6 years and loved it, absolutely loved it. And we built an incredible school culture at the school I was at and had a lot of success. And we were this small rural school with pretty high, almost 70% poverty rate. And we're just killing it academically and culturally, and had a great community support, and attendance was growing out of control. And so that's just something that I'm proud of. And I will, however that sounds, I'm extremely proud of that. And the year before we left, we were number 6 in the state in our iRead scores, which was just like tremendous. And I will say, I don't care what I do in my life, that's going to be the most thing that I'm, most proud of. So, but this spring, I had an opportunity to go work for School Life. Some of you may have heard of School Life. Some of you may have heard of Brag Tags. We are the Brag Tag company. And so School Life's been around for over 25 years, but this spring, right before the school ended, I've just made definitely the toughest decision of my life, and to take on this role as their VP of Business Development. And in that role, I get to work with schools across the country, which I love, and help create cultures like the one that we created where I was at. And it's been fun. It's been a great ride, and I get to work from home, and it's been a blessing. So that's where I'm at there. But at the same time, I've was just telling you before we jumped on here, I'm just I found myself in this bubble of, making an impact on the greater educational world, and it's been such a privilege to share and provide input in so many different areas and so many different places of the country and educational world. Has not been intentional by any means. It's been super organic, and just meeting the right people and saying, "Hey, what you're doing is special. Will you share it to this area, that area?" And what started out, just presenting at our state principals conference each year has led to, speaking at the national level. And it's been a ride. It's been a fun ride. And
Yeah.
me, it's about the impact, right? I mean, I remember starting out at 19 years old in college at Ball State saying, I'm going to be a teacher because I want to make a positive impact on young men, right? These boys that have no father figure in their life. I just want to be that positive male role model. And that's really where it started. And now to say, hey, I can make an impact to the leaders of a building that are now impacting 600 students. It's such an honor and privilege, and I pinch myself every day and say, "This is life," right?
I love that organic growth through finding a fit in education. I know that so many educators are actually pondering that concept. Obviously, it's been something that's been a long time coming, especially over the last 10 years and much less 5 years of educators trying to figure out where they best fit in this field. And it's so wonderful, Ross, that you've been able to go from striving to be an educator, to becoming a classroom teacher, to becoming a leader in a school building. 6 years, holy cow, many of us don't last that long in administration. And then going into a role that is seemingly, I mean, geez, looking at your title and I guess probably, if you described elements of your job, feel very businessy, but then
Yeah.
you're doing and you're using your educational background to be able to support teachers. And I think that that's such a beautiful space. We were kind of joking before we came live, like, who knows how long any of us will be in our positions, but geez, I'm along for the ride and I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts. And who knows when or if the next position will come. And it's just trusting your gut. And I love that at the end of the year, last year, you're able to trust your gut, go do something like this. And then you've been able to kind of develop in building your network of great people surrounding you all around the country that you get to collaborate with. That's outstanding.
Yeah. And I'm so thankful for that, to have people like Dave Burgess and Jimmy Casas in my phone is like mind blowing to me. I'm like, no, like, what is this? But it's even better to know that they are such great people like that. And I can say, hey, I've got a question or I need support. And all of these amazing people, I was talking to Todd Nessaloni. I could text him any time of the day and say, I need you. And he's going to say, what,
Yeah,
and that's just been special to see. And I'm so thankful to have this type of people around me.
Shout out to Todd Nessaloni. For those of you who may not be connected to him, he is a must follow on our Teach Better favorite list. Good friends with Joshua Stamper, also the author of many, many books, including Kids Deserve It. So many good things over there. So, and I always love following his family journey because he's got 2 little ones at home. So it's always fun.
Yeah, it was so cute.
So good.
No,
so
go ahead.
As you go down this journey, I'm sure many educators will have 1,000 questions, but one of the things that we definitely need to dive into is the concept of brag tags, because this is something that I feel like some people have heard of. I know we've even mentioned it in professional development that we've done as a team here with our live shows, like, oh, this is a great tool, you should use it. But you're like the guy who has all the answers with it now. So we're going to transition really quick into our team talk, because all of us want to learn about brag tags and we want to know how to make them sustainable in our routines and scalable in our classrooms to make them not just a one-time thing, but like a community culture builder. So we'll be right back. Hey everyone, we're talking brag tags. Ross, what are they? Are they just like keychains? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, so let's talk brag tags. What did I just find? I have brag tag. What do you know? But brag tags are just the coolest, simplest, but most effective tool that I have seen to do anything you want, which is really cool. So, quick story. I'll try to be quick, but so my first year as principal, culture was bad, right? Student behaviors were out of control. Like, there were so many things, and you alluded to it. I said, like, the first month that I was a principal, I said, I'm not going to make it till Christmas break, right? Something has to change. It has to give. And so did a lot of research and came up with this cool idea that's called a Bear Positives program, and was set the staff down and said, we are going to flip the script, right? Everything we're doing right now is negative and reactive. And we are going to talk positive, and we are going to be proactive. And so I went to the School Life website and I created brag tags specifically for things that we wanted to see in our school, right? Like kindness and empathy and responsibility, and big kind of concepts that sometimes are hard for students to wrap their minds around and really understand what they are. And every single adult in our building had brag tags to give out, from the janitor, the bus drivers, lunch ladies, teachers, principals, everybody had these. And when they saw a student going above and beyond, doing one of these characteristics or traits that we were looking for, they made it the biggest deal. And they went to that kid and they said, "You earned this brag tag," right? And that immediate gratification for that student is something that is always special to see. Um, and it works because other kids saw, hey, he just earned that because he was cleaning up the lunch table that wasn't his mess and no one asked him to do. I need to do that every day, right? And so it provided that instant gratification, instant feedback. And then we took it one step further. And I said to our students, for every 3 brag tags that you earn, you're going to come up to the principal's office and I'm going to give you what I call the royal treatment. And we made it a huge deal. We clapped for them as they came in my office. When they came in, they called home, shared the great news with their parents. They got a book every time, a huge proponent of literacy. They got a brand new book every time that they came into my office. And they got some type of school swag, right? Because so many kids they have school pride, but they can't show their school pride because they don't have anything. Or, so many being at a low income school, we'd have our fundraiser every year, but kids couldn't afford, right? The $30 sweatshirt or $25 t-shirt. And I hated that. So we provided swag, school swag every time, whether it started small and it grew. And, as they got up to like 25, 30 brag tags, we were giving them yard signs that said, "I'm a bear positive recipient." And they got to go home and put that in their front yard. And it was just so fun, and rewarding. And that's where it started for me. And as I built this relationship with school life, and now I'm here, right? And as their VP of business development. But again, so organic, so natural. But brag tags are something that you can go online to our website and fully customize however you'd like, which is so cool. And really, in my role now, that's one of the things that I really enjoy. Every morning I go and I look at orders like from the previous day, and I just like to see like what are people doing with their brag tags. And a lot of times I end up emailing and reaching out and having phone calls because I want to hear what they're doing. But everybody does it differently, right? We have sports teams and church groups and schools and individual teachers and whole schools and everybody. The other day we had an animal sanctuary that created tags with their animal pictures on them. So it was like, it's always something new, right? But we have a team of graphic designers in California, and there's no charge at all to come up with your proofs. And um, that's really cool. So you can put your school logo, your mantra, everything you want on there, and specifically what you're looking for. And they're super inexpensive. So each tag's going to be like 16, 17 cents a piece. So when you're looking for, things that are going to support your students, it's not going to break the bank, right?
Yeah, no, I know so many educators, so many educational leaders that are willing to invest money to enhance school culture, but trying to find the right thing to invest money in that is going to have a long-term effect and not just be a sign that hangs on the wall, or that one time you decided to pass popcorn out, right? What's the sustainable work? And I am such a fan. I would totally be motivated by brag tags, and I would be motivated to pass them out. So
Yeah,
I think this is
it
such
has.
a cool
And
thing.
I
And you're
always
bringing in the parents to be a part, the community to be a part of the celebration. I mean, you couldn't do this more circular if you tried.
Right. Yeah. And we end up, by the end of it, we had like local businesses that were kind of catching on like, hey, I want to sponsor this. And so it ended up, helped providing funding for it. But yeah, like we just live in this society where, we want to be incentivized for what we're doing. Right. And that's nothing wrong with that. I always tell people that, like, want to say, well, I don't want to just reward kids for things they should be doing. But I say, if you go on a diet, do you reward yourself when you lose 10 pounds? Heck yes, right? We go out, we buy a new outfit, or whatever it is. Like, that's just the world we live in, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Is it bad that when you're like, oh, when you lose 10 pounds, you reward yourself? I'm like, duh, with a piece of cake. Oh, yeah, buy a new outfit. That's better. Okay, you win.
But it's been great. And then, another thing that we're really working with a lot of schools across the country on is attendance right now too. Um,
Sure.
so the brag tags have proven effective to get kids at school, and we even created this huge attendance challenge where we've got this like 10-foot poster that hangs on the walls of the front lobby, and it's a competition within grade levels, and it's just been fun to work with schools and say what works for you. We'll totally customize it, just for you, and it's been a blast. So.
Ross, I want to make sure our community has two different things. One is I want to make sure they can connect with you just as a person. You are such an easy guy to talk to. You're so passionate. You have such a background in education. I want to make sure our community adds you to their network and just continues to be a Teach Better family member alongside you to learn from your insight. And the other thing is I really want our Teach Better community to go check out these brag tags, because I know that this concept has been around for a while, but the stuff that your crew is doing is driven in research, is focused on wanting to do what's best for schools. And while there is a cost, which always makes me nervous to in any way promote something that costs money to school districts, I want them to spend that strategically. To me, this is so strategic and so focused on trying to make it as cost effective as possible. This isn't like a money grab, very driven on supporting a much bigger mission. So can you give us those two details, how to connect with you and how to connect with your organization?
So you can find me obviously on all the socials at the Mr. Braun. I'll always be Mr. Braun. It was funny. I went back and read this in classrooms today, and just hearing Mr. Braun again is kind of special.
So fun.
So fun. But yeah, find me on all the socials, the Mr. Braun, and then www.schoollife.com. It's that simple. Or you can email me personally, reach out, ross@schoollife.com. And like you said, our mission is to make an impact and to improve tomorrow's future, right? And so, yes, obviously there's a cost, and this is a business, but it's much more than that. It's about supporting schools. And so if you email me and say, let's set up a Zoom call, and I'm going to get to know you, get to know your school, and see how we can support you. And at the end of the day, if you don't buy anything from us, I'm still going to support you in your school, and I'm still going to give you advice, right? And so
yes, exactly.
I'm super thankful for that. My boss, Kim, our CEO, is just an amazing human being, and really believes in that, right? She trusts me and trusts what we're doing with schools, and she just wants to make an impact. And so, yeah, like I feel weird sometimes coming on like Teach Better and saying, like, talking about brag tags, but I'm not trying to sell anything at all. We're here to make a positive impact, and that's the mission. And so, and it just so happens to align with my personal mission.
Yes.
Right. And so, yeah, I get that sometimes too. Like as I'm speaking at different conferences, I feel almost weird or guilty putting my title down, because I'm not speaking most of the time. I'm not speaking about brag tags at all. This feels kind of weird, like, to talk to you about this, but because it's all about, culture and improving literacy and, all these things that I'm passionate about.
Friends, I hope you take some time as you kind of get into your day today to connect with Ross, check out the work he's doing, including obviously his real job, like with these brag tags. This is a guy that many of us internally on the Teach Better team are connected to, are friends with, have cell phone numbers in our phones, and we love Ross. So please make sure you take the time to add him to your PLN. Ross, thank you so much for coming on the show and hanging out with us this morning.
I appreciate the opportunity more than I can share or explain. So thank you. Thank you for what you're doing for education and for educators all over. It's important that educators have a place that they can go to for support and for advice, and you guys got it going on. So thank you.
Always fun, always good. Friends, don't be a stranger. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and make sure to check in with us for our last show of the year tomorrow for Teach Better Today. I think Jeff Gargis is coming on, and I think we're going to maybe talk about shenanigans. So we'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye, friends. Hey, Teach Better community. Thank you so much for joining the Teach Better Today morning show every single weekday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have so many resources for you outside of this live stream at teachbetter.com, including blogs, podcasts, and professional development that will bring our team to your school. Wherever you are listening from this morning, please make sure you are sharing and celebrating the incredible educators in this world. And hey, if you are listening over on a podcast to Teach Better Talk, we would love a 5-star review. The comments are always so entertaining. We'll see you tomorrow.